Can you actually lose weight in a week? Are all those lose 10 pounds in 2 week ads correct? Yes and no, respectively. Especially for, desk workers who don't move much. Maybe they're new to weight loss, and I want to help them understand what weight loss looks like at the beginning. When you first start losing weight, some of it may be quick. But the thing is, a lot of that will be water weight, uh, shit, stuff leaving your body. And when I say shit, I literally mean feces. That's what a lot of it is at the beginning. Obviously, you keep going, you're going to lose a lot of the body fat if you're doing things correctly. But right away, water weight goes away real quick. So yeah, if you start off losing weight, week one, you could see 1 pound, 2, 3, 4 pounds of loss. And you're thinking, holy hell, I'm amazing. Now it could be you were really overweight and you went into a pretty deep deficit. Or it could also be you went into a mild deficit and then you lost a lot of water weight as well. I mean, either way, most of the weight you're going to lose at the beginning is going to be water weight because you're not used to this kind of reduction. So, for example, a 200-pound person with a decent caloric deficit can lose about a pound or two of body fat at the beginning per week. But at the very beginning, you might see a drop of like 3, 4, 5 pounds, and a lot of it a drop, and that's because of the water fluctuation. A lot of that is also because we as Americans we eat very salty shit often, which makes you retain some water. So if you're making some changes, you're less salty basically. You're not gonna hold as much water, and it's gonna leave you, and you're gonna lose weight seemingly faster. If you lose weight, like actual weight, very quickly, you could lose a lot of muscle as well and other bad things. So I always recommend you losing weight gradually. It may not be fun, you may be impatient, but you're gonna keep a lot of what you want on the way down. So the beginning parts of the weight loss may seem very quick, a lot of it due to water and glucose and shit like that. But after a month ish, it'll start to become the weight loss will probably be a bit slower, but it'll be more on the fat loss. Your body's like, all right, now we're losing weight. We're doing better things now. You don't have that much fucking water to shed at this point. I'm losing body fat now. I'm simplifying the hell out of it, but it's kind of like that. Let's kill some myths. Number one, I lost 10 pounds in 1 week. I'm crushing this diet. This happens a lot more than you think. People, they hop on something like, they were a couch potato or eating garbage before, and then they make some kind of change, and then they see rapid weight loss. But most of that, right at the beginning, is not all straight up body fat. A lot of it is weight, glycogen, like I mentioned, just like a different form of energy in you. Sometimes muscle. It's not all just fat you're losing at the beginning. Number two, the 3,500 calorie rule. Cut 500 calories daily, you lose exactly 1 pound per week. I mentioned this last week. It's not 100% accurate, like I mentioned before, but for simplicity's sake, it's a good rule of thumb. You eat a few hundred less per day, you can expect to lose a couple thousand per week of calories in that deficit. So that still applies. Again, it's not 100% accurate. Nothing is 100% accurate, even the calorie labels on the food. You have to go into a lab and burn the food to find out how many calories it actually has. So if something says, oh, it's 50 calories per serving, whatever, it could be 48.2 or something like that, depending on your own body and how it burns. Like there's a lot of different little details that are not exactly 100%, but to keep it simple, to keep it followable, yeah, about 500 fewer calories per day will lose you about a pound a week. But it's not 1000% exact to the calorie. But it's close enough to work for you. Number three, faster weight loss equals better results. No. This is why I have kind of an issue with, I have a big issue with a lot of the weight loss drugs, the way people use them. They lose a bunch of weight really quickly because they've never, told their hunger to calm the fuck down. So they're losing a shit ton of weight, And since, they hopped onto the drug instead of doing some other stuff, they're probably not exercising. So they're losing a bunch of fat, bunch of muscle, bunch of water, like everything. They're just losing. And this applies even if you're not on drugs. You're losing a shit ton of weight. You're eating 1,000 calories per day. You're just dropping like crazy. Your body's not going to have fun in that process. It's not great. Gradual is much better. Your body can adapt. You keep a lot of the stuff that you actually need. And also, some of the stuff people don't talk about is the mental part. I had a client who, when he started off, he was props to him. I said, hey man, for the calorie stuff, you got to do this. This is ideal. Blah blah blah. He went in. He followed that to a T. Even sometimes going a bit too low, I'm like, bro, please stop. Don't go that low. But point is, he made a lot of progress really quickly at the beginning. I was warning him, hey, just so you know, later on it's going to slow down a bit just because your body's getting used to what's going on. It's not going to be that easy going forward. Just keep that in mind. He kept going, and then it started to slow down. He's like, Kevin, I only lost 1 pound this week. I'm like, first of all, that's awesome. Secondly, remember I told you about this. Like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm glad you warned me because I'd be much more upset right now if not. So when people forget about the initial weight loss being a lot of water weight and other stuff, they set themselves up for different expectations. You're not going to lose a shit ton of weight super quickly the whole time. Not in a happy way. It will slow down if you're doing it right. And that might get you a bit upset. It might take some getting used to. It's fine. It'll be fine. It'll work out. Just when you start off with certain expectations, it can be rough to transition to reality. So if you're losing weight way faster at the beginning, could be cool at the beginning, but then you'll learn, oh, it won't be like this the whole time. Number 4, if I'm not losing 2+ pounds per week, my diet isn't working. First of all, hopping on a diet I don't recommend. I'm hoping this means, hey, the way I'm eating isn't working or whatever. Losing 2 pounds every week is kind of, unless you start off very obese, I would not recommend that. It means you're cutting out 1,000 calories or more every day. That's not sustainable. Maybe at the very beginning, if you're very overweight, you can get away with that, but that's not something I recommend to people. That's why I prep people saying, hey, about 1 pound a week if you're following everything perfectly is great. Great pace. Expect that. Again, that same client I was talking about who lost a shit ton of weight, I think the first week they lost like 4 pounds or something. I'm thinking, that's awesome. He's off to a great start. I got to warn him about later, though. And the final myth, I can out-exercise a bad diet in 1 week. This is actually true. It's just really stupid. You can eat like dog shit and then work it off. You're just going to have to work a lot because physical activity, just going for a run or stuff like that, it doesn't burn that many calories compared to how quickly you can undo that with, let's say, junk food like donuts or something. Imagine you're on the treadmill, you're just jogging, running, whatever it is. It says you burn 330 calories. Cool, you're sweaty, you worked a lot. Eat a donut, that's gone. That's why, in terms of calories, it's more about just have a general activity level that you can account for, and then keep in mind your budget at that level, your calorie budget, and then work with that. Don't say, oh, I'm eating extra shit, let me work it. Just take the hit for the day and just continue tomorrow. Don't try to work shit off. It's going to create this, not only is it not effective long term, but it's going to create this weird thing in your mind where you have to punish yourself for eating. And that's fucked. Nutrition is 80% of weight loss, and part of it is learning what works for you. So if you fuck up, learn from it and move forward. Don't say, hey, I fucked up. I'm going to lash myself with exercise. Not only are you punishing yourself for eating, but you're also making exercise mean punishment. Bad. This happens when I'm bad. That's also bad mentally. Don't fucking do that. Exercise can be very fun. So if you work at a desk job all the time, the thought of a very quick start to your weight loss can be appealing. But when it kind of goes back to normal, you're going to feel so bad you might just quit. Just go back to sitting at your desk and doing nothing else. If you work in tech, a lot of tech workers will be like, hey, yeah, I'm going to calculate, so my budget is this, what would be the optimal, fastest way to lose weight without wanting to die, blah, blah, blah. And I don't think I've ever met someone, or I can even imagine someone who comes up with the most amount of calories they can possibly reduce their intake by and not die, and that they're happy with it. It's just not the ideal way to do it. It's not fun. And by the way, talking about all this water weight stuff, that doesn't mean don't drink water. Drink your water. Just saying, a lot of the initial stuff, it's going to be water fluctuation. So give it, a month, 6 weeks into your journey before you start making expectations for yourself. That'll give you a better indication of what will actually work, and also taking into account that you've lost a lot of the fucking water weight already, and this will be more like the normal. And here's a nice tip. If you're overweight, obviously, if you lose about 5% of your body weight, you lower your risk of heart disease and diabetes by quite a lot. So if you're 200 pounds and you lose 10 pounds, which is 5% of it, you're significantly improving your chances of not having a heart attack. And that's cool. And something I have to touch on is the whole notion of your friend losing a bunch of weight because they went low carbs or whatever. First of all, as I often say, most of the carbs that people eat, they're not vegetables and fruit. They're fucking croissants, bagels, and donuts and stuff that, while they may be good, they might not fill you up. So you'll eat more. And they have a bunch of calories in them. So not a great combo. But if you look at the word carbohydrates hold a bunch of water. So for those people who cut out carbs, even though most of them were basically pastries, they're also not having a bunch of that water in their diet anymore, or water in their body anymore, which makes it look like, oh wow, they're losing a shit ton of weight because they cut out carbs. It may look that way at first, but guess what? You need carbohydrates and you need water. So keep consuming them and make it work. Eat carbohydrates that fill you up. Like those weird healthy breads, like pumpernickel, sourdough, stuff like that. Is pumpernickel healthy? I don't know. So just keep all this in mind. Just remember the beginning of your weight loss journey if you're doing things. You're doing these new things that are going to help you lose weight. A lot of it's going to be water weight at the beginning. Just keep at it. Your body get used to the weight loss, and they'll start losing real fat after like 4 to 6 weeks or so. But you want to, you don't have to exercise while you lose weight. It's completely unnecessary, but I highly recommend it. Eat a bunch of protein. Not only will it keep you full, but you'll retain a lot of your muscle as you're losing that weight. And I also recommend when you're weighing yourself, weigh yourself at, I wouldn't recommend every week. I do that for myself because I'm dumb. But I wouldn't weigh yourself more than more often than once every 2 weeks. I would definitely not weigh yourself every single day. There's way too much fluctuation. You'd be like, oh, I'm 81 I'm 181 this day. Tomorrow I'm 178. Oh, I'm back to 180 the next day. It's just don't trouble yourself with that. Do it once every 2 weeks. That's enough time to see, the bare minimum of change that you've made over that time. Even better if you want to do it every 4 or 6 weeks, and you can really see, okay, this is what has actually occurred over the month or so. Not, this is the slight change that happened as of yesterday. And that way, if you do it, once every 4 to 6 weeks or something, you can totally bypass that, oh my God, I'm losing tons of weight, not knowing it's water weight section of your early weight loss too. So that's a tip. So to recap, in just 1 week, can you lose weight? Yeah. A lot of it's going to be water weight though. And then going forward, you can still lose that weight, and then it'll be more body fat than water. But at the beginning, that ratio is not going to be the one you want necessarily. But per week, whether it's at the beginning or later, yes, you can lose weight. The weight that you can see on the scale, you can. Just don't weigh yourself every day or every week. Unless you just love the roller coaster ride of fluctuations, and in that case, go for it. But expect to lose about half a pound to a pound of body weight per week going forward if you're doing the proper budgeting and deficit and all that stuff. Do not be impatient. You're in it for the long run. So treat the process as a long one. Write in the comments, how much weight did you think you could realistically lose in a week? Was it 10? Are you insane? Also, subscribe or you're not going to make it. All right, see you next time.